Hi YouTube, this is Cypher, and this video is a review of my first professional lesson. So you could consider it to be a continuation of my journey, which it is, or you could consider it to be day one of my journey. And I'm actually considering it to be day one of my journey because this is when it's really going to start happening. So let me explain a little bit more in just a moment. Okay, so we're just a few days after my birthday. I got this brilliant t-shirt of the Trooper from Iron Maiden. Absolutely love it, so thank you to my daughters for that. Iron Maiden Trooper was one of the first singles that I ever bought. Bought it for the cover more than the disc, and then I went on to enjoy the music and hoping to cover that at some point down the line. It's one of the things that I would like to do ultimately, but yeah, need to lose a little bit of weight, yeah, I do like this t-shirt, and thank you to the girls for that. So as you'll know, I've struggled a little bit with the process of trying to teach myself, using a lot of resources, jumping around, picking the guitar up, trying things, didn't work, put it down. I've done a few videos on this, so you'll know exactly what I mean if you're following me. But I do want to make this work, and I've realised that I need to get some proper professional tuition, and that's the route that I've now got. I had an introduction to a guitar tutor, got in touch with him. He's a level 8 guitarist with experience with classical guitar, 6-string bass, so pretty much covering all of the things that I'm likely to want to look at during this journey. He teaches at local schools, and he also teaches in the evening, so that fits in quite well with my schedule, as in, you know, I'm going to have evening lessons. So I'm going to take a half hour every 2 weeks. So the half an hour gives me enough time to practice in between the lessons, and that's going to fit in quite nicely around my busy work schedule and my busy family life. So if I have a day or two where I can't practice, it does mean that I'm going to have other days where I can. Having a lesson every week was probably going to be a little bit too much pressure, so I went with 2 weeks. We both agreed on that, so I'm really pleased. So that does mean that I'm hoping to do videos towards the end of each week after each lesson. Just as a vlog or video diary, and I'm going to start recording these videos, but because of the issues I've had, I'm probably not going to upload them until I know that things are working. So probably towards the end of the year I'll start to upload these videos. Yeah, so probably every couple of weeks I'll be doing a lesson video, and then as I get gear or learn other things, then I may well do videos in between. So you're not going to get hit big time. But I hope you will subscribe and come along with me on this journey. And if, like me, you're a beginner, later in years, this might just inspire you a little bit. That's the main aim. The main aim for the video, this channel is really just to diarise, but I've already got people that are commenting that they want to follow me and things like that, which is really nice. So the lesson today was more about getting to know each other. So I'll be honest with you, I was nervous before I went. I knew I got problems. I didn't know how Michael was going to react and what he was going to say, but he was very kind. When we got into the posture side of things, he was a bit blunt, but I did need to hear what he was saying, and it was very positive at the end of the day. So we started off probably about half of the lesson just talking about what I'd been doing, what resources I'd been using, how I'd been getting on, where I was struggling. We spoke about the pain in my hand, for instance. And we also spoke about expectations, so what he would expect from me, what I'll expect from him, and my aims and my goals going forwards. So, my aims and my goals are to learn to play the guitar so I can play it for my own pleasure. I might go on to do a little busking, I don't know. I might join a jamming group locally. I don't know where it's going to take me down the line, but for the moment sights have been reduced quite significantly down to realistic levels, which again was something that was quite nice and probably what I needed to be told. So once we'd actually spoken about a few things, Michael got me to play a few notes rather badly, and we spoke about posture. Now I knew that I would be picked up on a couple of points. I wasn't quite expecting to be picked up on quite as much as I did. But it ranged from, I haven't got a proper place to actually sit, proper stool, so I often sit and just play here. And as you can see, I'm twisted. My shoulders are also not level. I was leaning over, so I was totally leaning over here to see what was going on. Half the time the guitar was at a funny angle so that I could see my fingers. This shoulder was down, this shoulder was up. I was just completely all over the place. The other thing as well is on pretty much all of the videos out there, most people are playing the guitar on their right leg. And for me, that was sort of twisting me up. It also meant that when I had to get around the neck of the guitar, I was sort of bending my wrist. And the other thing as well that he picked up on that I hadn't realised is I was actually bringing the guitar quite close into me so that I could lean over, which meant I was actually bringing my elbow, I exaggerated a little bit here, but bringing my elbow back behind me, which again was twisting everything up. And if you're going to be playing with the guitar on your right leg, then really what you should do is bring yourself up straight, put your arm down to the side, and then just bring it up, and then put the head into your hand so that you then have this open triangle and the guitar is out in front of you. And that way your arm and your wrist and your hand is all in line, it's straight rather than being all bent. So that immediately would have relieved some of the tension in my hand. However, he's moved the guitar so that I'm playing it in this position, so it's more upright. My arm and my hand is still straight. I can get around the neck much easier, and my thumb is moving towards the back of the neck in a better position. So all of that is a lot better, and I'm a lot straighter. Yes, I need to get a decent chair, but I am a lot straighter, and that really, really worked. And I also found that there was a lot of tension in my body when I was playing because I was twisted. And as soon as I sat up straight, put the guitar in a better position, more upright, then I suddenly relaxed. My shoulders came down. I just felt a little bit easier in myself. Both of my hands, actually, the tension went out of my hands, and suddenly everything became just that little bit easier. So for the first lesson, that in itself was quite a revelation and really, really good. So I am playing with the guitar in this position. The other reason why this position is good is it works for when you're sitting down and also when you're standing up. So what I will probably be doing is playing in front of the mirror. Because you can't see the strings without leaning over, I may well play in front of the mirror, haven't quite decided yet. And if I get a strap, then the guitar is going to sit here on my body, which then means that everything is familiar. So if I'm moving from here when I'm sitting down to here when I'm standing up, then things are going to be slightly different, and having a consistent position is going to help with the muscle memory, in particular when I'm first starting out. So the guitar position was a real key thing. Just getting my hands in the right positions was great, and just relaxing was the main part of the lesson really today. And just to relax, that was the main thing, was just relaxing. So towards the end of the lesson, we did actually get into an exercise that Mike was giving me, and I've got this little like presentation folder that I'm going to put all of the exercises in, and I will include a link to the exercises below. So those of you that want to follow on, if you do, hopefully you will, you'll be able to download these and follow through with what I'm doing. So this is a very general exercise that he had me doing. Don't get excited, this is not going to be great, but where we are at is the strings are E, A, D, G. So we start off on the G string and we do 4 open. And the other thing that he's doing with this exercise is alternate picking. So my picking was all over the place. Some were up, some were down. I was all over the place. So you won't be able to see on the video here, but I'm actually going with alternate picking. And the other habit I've got to get out of, and I've just done it now, is Michael has told me not to touch the body of the guitar. Now, a lot of the online resources were saying, put a finger on the body of the guitar because it helps with picking, which seemed to make perfect sense to me. It really did. You then get an idea of the stretch between the different strings. And as Michael said to me, that's absolutely fine when you're picking, but what happens when you want to start strumming? And what happens when you really want to bang some, real strumming out? You haven't got the ability to, with reference point. So he said to me that if you can start playing with a relaxed hand and without actually touching the body, and get used to moving between the strings, I can't do it yet, then that will make it a lot easier when you're both picking and also when you are strumming. So that's something I'm going to work on, is not putting my fingers on the body of the guitar. No doubt some of you will comment when I'm doing it, and please do. Please comment and pick me up when I'm doing it. So let me just go E, A, D, G. So we're starting off on the G string, and we do 4 open chords. Open notes. They're not chords. And then we go to the 2nd fret on the middle finger, and we repeat that. Put my fingers down again. And then we move to the B string and open. And then we want on the 1st finger of the 1st fret of that same string, so we just do 4 of those, and then we do the 3rd fret, which I'm using my third finger, and we do 4 of those again. And then we go down to the high E string and we play that open again, 4. And then we do 1st fret on that string. And then we do the 3rd fret on that string. Oops. Try that again. And then in this exercise, we then go all the way back down. So we do fret 3 on the E, fret 1 on the E, open E, and all the way down. So we go 4 notes up, 4 notes down. And yeah, I'm still trying to get all that in my head, but that's the exercise. And in the next video, which I'll do in 2 weeks' time, because I've got a lesson 2 weeks Wednesday, I'll run through that and you'll be able to see how I'm getting on. But that was a lesson. So primarily getting to know each other, posture, and you can see I'm already twisted. This is the worst seat, but getting to know each other, posture, and then this very simple exercise. So thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care. Bye bye. I think I need to practice.